Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Eddie Jennings from EJSLLC.com. This video is another in my practice session series for the Red Hat Certified Specialist in Linux Diagnostics and Troubleshooting exam EX342. Before I dive in, I want to thank returning subscribers for watching another video, as well as invite anyone who's watching, if you haven't subscribed, to click the subscribe button. Also, a reminder is that these practice sessions should not be considered tutorials or authoritative information. I am still in my learning process, and I'm doing this as a part of my final review. I'm going through all of the objectives posted by Red Hat and am attempting to explain the objective or do some exercises related to it. And at the end of the video, I will do a little self-assessment, and hopefully I'll feel pretty confident with the objective. And if not, I still have just over a week to do a little bit of last-minute brushing up to try to get fill in some knowledge gaps. But since I'm still learning, these should not be used as tutorials or considered authoritative information. I put these out on the internet in hopes that others that are working toward this exam might see some of the things that I am doing in this practice session and get some ideas of how to create themselves some exercises to do to prepare. So moving into the Resolve Package Management Issues set of objectives, we're going to look at Resolve Package Management Dependency Issues. Now, thankfully, this is not generally a problem, and of course I'm sure if there's anyone watching this that's a seasoned Linux admin or RHEL admin or whatever is laughing. But I mean, yeah, I deal with dependency issues, but it's not something I deal with all the time. I guess I'm lucky in my environment that things tend to work. I will say it's like one of these "you will be made to care" moments, if you might recognize that from an Eric Erickson quote. But if you're in a RHEL environment and you have devs that want to install Docker, you're going to have a fun time dealing with dependencies because of runc and containerd.io from the Docker CE repos versus what comes from RHEL with Podman. But anyway, I might actually do a separate video one time about how to deal with that, because it is something that I do run upon quite often. But the basic idea behind this is, or better yet, let me go into one of my lab servers. We'll do lab server 6. I haven't picked on lab server 6 in a little while. I'll go ahead and become root. And we'll use good old Apache. So DNF install HTTPD. So when this tries to install, it's going to take it a minute because my network's being a bit slow tonight and these VMs are generally underpowered. It's going to show you that it's installing HTTPD, and it's also going to be installing a number of other dependencies that HTTPD has. So in addition to HTTPD, it's going to be installing the APR package. It's going to be installing a couple of HTTPD specific packages. And it's also enabling a module stream for HTTPD. So all of this stuff needs to be there for HTTPD to work. And of course I can press Y and get that installed, and life is good. One thing or if you need to look up what dependencies a package has within DNF, I think it's show deps HTTPD. That might just be for stuff that's actually installed. Let's see what happens. Of course, no command show deps. Maybe that's an RPM command that I'm thinking of. I'm actually going to go and install HTTPD. They might use another package. There's something I'm going to do with this or perhaps I'll do something with this to practice this. But there are a couple of ways, as I said, of looking at the dependencies. Is it QD for RPM? No, that's the documents. It's the no deps. There is a way to list the dependencies. I know there is. Is it requires? Yeah, RPM-Q to query HTTPD requires. There we go. So that's one way of showing all of the requirements and all of the basically all the dependencies for HTTPD. There's a way of doing it with DNF. Is it dep list? So let's do DNF dep list. Let's do VS FTP. See if that gives us what I want. Maybe. Nope. Well, I'm not doing as well as I thought it would on this. So repo query dep list. Okay, so let's try this then. DNF repo query dep list vsftp, or it might that not do httpd, might be vsftpd, and I misspelled query. Yep, can't win tonight. There's some dependencies. Oh, that's nice. It shows the dependency and the provider of it. So where things can go wrong, there's a few things that can happen. What I want to do, see if I can break this. Let me uninstall httpd. It's going to show what was removed. What I want to do DNF, I think it showed duplicates, APR. Let's see if this does what I think it will. Maybe it's dash. Let me look at manpage. What I'm wanting to do is see what all versions of the same package are available in the repository. So it's dash show duplicates. So DNF search APR show duplicates. That might help me. One time where this was particularly useful was dealing with a Terraform thing, and had an environment where the person that handed it off said you have to use this specific version of Terraform, and show duplicates allowed me to get what I needed to work with the environment. All right, so it looks like we have 163-9. What I'm trying to do is create a dependency problem so you can see what it looks like. So I'm going to try to get this old version here. Now if I were to do DNF update APR, it should find that there's another, there's something to update to. It's like 1-6-3- or .6.3-12. At least that's what it should tell me. Yeah, we can go up to .12. What I'm going to do is use DNF version lock, which I might have to install that version lock. Yeah. It's what? Yum utils, I think, is what I need. I'm just curious to see if it will show up here. Oh, actually gives us that. Otherwise, it's like yum utils is what we need. So we'll do this. Thank you, man pages, for saving me like you will probably have to do on my exam. Now I'm curious to see what's actually going to be installed with this. I haven't installed it this way before. Interesting. Things you learn every day. All right, so now DNF version lock APR. And so what has happened, if I were to do DNF update APR, it's going to show there's nothing to update, because what I've basically told DNF is for any package that has this in its name, we're going to keep that package on the exact version that it is. So what we're going to try to do now is install Apache. I'm curious to see A, if it'll let us, and B, how far we can go. It might allow that old version of see, is it allowing that? Yeah. I might have to do like a package exclusion for that to make this work the way that I want. Well, let's see if it'll install. Yeah, that worked. Grumble. So DNF remove httpd-y. See if I can make a straight up package exclusion for APR. You can run just DNF version lock alone once you have it installed, and it'll show you everything that you have with that. To do actual exclusions, that's going to go into DNF config. So let's see if we can make this happen. cdnf, dnf.conf. No, that's for, all right, so let's do man dnf.conf. There should be where is it? I know that we can tell it from the command line to exclude, but what I want to do, I'm not sure if it will allow me to even try to do HTTPD. And I know you can set this in a configuration file. I've had to do that before. Of course, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly how I configured it. But yeah, exclude packages. That's just, okay. APR star PKGS. I knew that looked weird. All right, so let's try to install DNF once again, or install DNF, install Apache once again. Let's see what happens. And I know I haven't done that. Yeah, there we go. All right, so it's complaining that none of the providers for this can be installed. The actual dependency is this, and none of the providers are able to install it. Now, in the real world, do not install with -- skip broken or -- no best. It is better to figure out the dependency problem. And this is actually telling you, hey, this is being filtered out by exclude filtering. So that is something to look at. You can run DNF or Yum with different levels of verbosity that will probably give you some good hints about this. But I would say some of the, if there is a dependency that is missing for something, and you can't just straight up install the dependent package, then one thing to check would be version lock and exclusions. So typically working with your package manager, you're not going to be running into these. Where you will sometimes find dependency issues happen is when someone has installed something just with the RPM command, because RPM itself does not handle dependencies. It's one of the reasons why we use DNF and Yum, and then in the DPKG world, people use apt because it handles all of the dependencies. If I have just a separate RPM, what I will often do is install that RPM using DNF, so it reads through the dependencies and grabs what it needs. I'm trying to think if there's another way I can break this to practice fixing it. Off the top of my head, I think this is about it. So I'm not a master of all of this, but I think I would be, or I have a feeling some of the dependency issues are probably going to be not necessarily simple, but common reasons why they would happen is something was installed with RPM-E, and we need to look up the dependencies on the package, which I was able to do that. It took me a bit, but with the RPM and DNF command, and then grab the dependencies that are needed. Or you're going to have issues with version lock or excludes that's preventing you from getting the packages that you need. So for this objective, I'll consider it a pass. If you found the video useful, make sure you do click like. Also, I want to thank returning subscribers for watching another video. And also I want to encourage anyone watching, if you haven't subscribed, to click the subscribe button and do ring the bell. I haven't published a video in a while, and part of it's because I've been on the gauntlet of trying to earn an RHCA certification, and so it's been one test after another, and I record all my practice sessions when I'm at the end, but it takes a little bit of time to get the videos ready and put up onto YouTube and other services like that. So they'll be coming eventually, which is why you ring the bell so you know when I finally get around to uploading another video. Regardless, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch, and I will see you the next time.